Hi, I'm Lisa Carlton with College Match Point. And what to do if you're late to the rodeo. You meant to apply to UT, you thought you were going to get it done this summer, and now you look up and you haven't done it and you're panicked. First thing I want to say is fear not, there's plenty of time. I think it's important for you to understand how UT reviews an application before we break it down into what you need to do to get started. The great thing about UT is that they are looking at you holistically. They're looking at your essays, they're looking at your resume, they're looking at your teacher recs. So you're putting together a whole mosaic, which is in your favor because you have a chance to really highlight all the great things about yourself. So now you're convinced that you can actually get this done and you're ready to start. Step one, you've got to know what your major is. Now is the time you've got to decide. The UT process is very much related to fit to major. So in order to complete the rest of the steps, you've got to know your major. If you don't know your major, go on the website and do some exploration to see what majors grab you and are interesting to you. You also want to think about what activities have I done to date which show that I'd be a good match for that major, because UT is looking at that. Once you know your major, I want you to move forward and work on your expanded resume. Now, I may have lost you at that point. You may say, what in the world is an expanded resume? Or you may have in your head, kind of like many adults like myself will think, oh, a resume is only one page. Actually, there's a reason UT called it expanded. They want to learn a lot about you, which is really cool. So you want to make sure that you're telling them all this wonderful stuff about you. So your expanded resume is likely to be 3 pages, 4 pages, depending on how much activity you have. Don't add things that aren't there, but make sure that you're not afraid to tell the whole story by giving detail, especially highlighting things where you made an impact and highlighting things, again, that relate to that major that you chose in step one. And I'd suggest that the things that relate to the major, you try to put towards the top of the resume. After you've done those 2 things, it's time to map out the essays. You've got a long essay and 3 short essays. So you've got 4 opportunities of writing to highlight the wonderful things about you. You want to make sure that those fit together and aren't all telling the same story. So it's nice to get a piece of paper and kind of say, I'm going to talk about this in the long essay. I'm going to talk about this in the major essay. I'm going to talk about this in the leadership essay. And I'm going to talk about this in kind of my experience and differences essay. So in each of the essays, you're kind of mapping out what you're going to do. Once you have your roadmap, I would suggest you start with your big essay because that's the big hurdle. Once you have that done, you're going to feel a little sigh of relief that you're on your way. And the good news about those shorter essays is that they're really asking you straightforward questions, so answer them. It is important in that major essay that you're very clear on what experiences you've had to want for that major. And don't be afraid to include experience in the classroom if you don't have a lot of other outside experience. Finally, in that essay piece, if you've had any extenuating circumstances, be sure to use that 4th essay to explain maybe an injury, an illness, anything that happened that may have affected your grades or your test scores. So now you've got your major, you've got your resume, you've got your essays, you're ready to actually complete the actual application. My suggestion is before you complete that application that you go in and make shorter descriptions for your activities so that you don't get confused when you get to the application. When you have all these pieces done, you're ready to actually apply. You're going to hold on to that resume. It actually doesn't go with the application. It'll be uploaded in your My Status portal after you apply. So this is my fast version of how to get you jump started. Now go get to work and good luck.